coaching sessions. We've got Tracy dropping in. We've got about 12 of the people that's going to join us at different stages of this session. So, Tracy, welcome. It's super hot here in the UK. So, we're going to kick off. It's 4 p.m. in the UK, it's 11 a.m. EST time, and I want to show honor to people that show up on time. And we've got a lot to get through. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and share the slides that I've created for day three's training. So if you're watching me on Facebook, you can only see me, you can't see my slides. If you want to join me, then there's a link on Facebook where you can jump in and join us here live inside of Zoom. Or you can just watch from the shadows, but watching from the shadows doesn't really help you to get the transformation that you want. In fact, let me just quickly just stop sharing this, make sure that I can just quickly, that's okay. And then I'm back with you. Right. Here we are. Awesome stuff. So this is what I call the growth room. It's a 10-day live mentorship with me. It's free. There's nothing to buy here. And I'm doing this out of the goodness of my heart, purely and simply, just to help people that's got questions that need answering, things that they're working on that they need answers to. If you want me to look at something that you're building out, then we can look at that. If you want to talk strategy, marketing, sales, DM conversations, if you want to talk about delivery process, if you want to talk about positioning, pricing, pitching, anything to do with growth of your business, this is why I've created this, so you can come and get your questions answered. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to provide what I call like a micro training as well, just to educate you on a few things on the way that I run and build my business. So there's going to be some, hopefully some value there that you can take away to help build your business as well. So we're going to run through a quick micro training, and then we're going to jump into around the room live power sessions. And this is what it's really all about. It's about getting your questions answered so you can move forward to your next level, whatever that next level means for you. We're all in different stages, we're all in different places of our business, and this is about getting the questions answered for where you're at. So the reason why I'm doing this is most people have got more information. We live in a world where everybody's just full of information. You already know everything, but just because you know everything, it doesn't necessarily mean that that you understand what you need to do for where you're at. Everybody's heard something 10 times, yet they're still stuck and spinning their wheels and not moving forward. So it's not about providing you with more information. It's about understanding where you're at and actually providing information for what you need for where you're at to move forward. My biggest clients' results have not come from me delivering like not thousands, but hundreds of trainings inside the portal. It's about getting into a room. It's about asking the right questions, and it's about getting the information that you need for where you're at. And that's what's provided some of my clients' biggest transformations. This is what we covered yesterday in yesterday's amazing session. We just talked about simplifying sales. And these are some of my clients' results that you can see. And again, you can't see these if you're just watching from Facebook, live from inside Facebook. But if you want to watch the slides, then jump into Zoom and you can see. But we've got Julius Vedberg that would close in $13,500 deals. She closed the biggest deal at $35,000. We've got Caesar that closed his biggest deal at £16,000. We've got clients $24,000 in the first 30 days, $15,000 in the first 30 days. These are some of the results that clients are getting from what it is that we do. So, and I shared a little bit of that just to showcase like everything that I do is basically built on driving results. It's not about staying stuck. It's not just about having conversations. It's actually about moving forward, results driven coaching, because that's what everybody's here for. We're starting a business, we're building a business because what? Because we want results, clients' results, impact, but also, as I mentioned yesterday, we're also wanting to build a business to provide for your dreams, for your lifestyle, money, cash in the bank. And you can't survive in business if you don't have those types of results. Because if you don't, unfortunately, you're just going to need to get a job to survive in today's world. So today's micro training is something that I covered with my clients just, I think, last week. The 4 stages of the temperature sequence. And this is what I know a lot of coaches struggle with. If I get into a conversation, like one of the first conversations that I'll have with a coach or a prospect, like, tell me where your hot leads are. Tell me where your warm leads are. And they can't. They can't tell me where they are. And if you can't pinpoint where your hot leads are, or your warm leads are, or your hot audience, or your warm audience, then you struggle to be able to identify where your next client is coming from. So, and that's because most people don't, when they're prospecting, they're not putting their prospects in buckets because they don't know how to take somebody from cold to lukewarm to warm to hot. So when it comes to sales, sales is relatively simple. Most people overcomplicate it, but sales is simple. It's about taking somebody from cold to lukewarm to warm to hot. Seldom will somebody go from cold to hot. Some people might, and some people do in 48 hours, but normally, like, there's a progress, there's a sequence you could take people through. And what we've got here is how to nurture people. Now, when I nurture prospects, it's not about, most people are thinking about nurturing prospects, but they're nurturing prospects because they want to close a sale. And a prospect can feel that. They can feel that energy that you're bringing to the conversation, that you're bringing to the game. When I'm prospecting, when I'm teaching prospecting to my clients, it's like you're nurturing people to serve them, to build real relationships, not to close sales. And if you're coming into prospecting with this level of energetics, your audience can tell that you're showing up to serve. They can tell that you're showing up genuinely to build a relationship and not just close a deal. And I think the myth behind this is that most people will think, well, okay, well, if I'm serving, if I'm building a relationship, that takes time. But it doesn't. What you're actually doing is, most people, like, they go for the sale because they think, well, if I just go for the sale, I'm speeding up the conversation. If I speed up the conversation, if I go for the close, then I'm going to get to the close quicker. And you don't. You get to the close longer. You actually never get to the close if you're speeding up the conversation to get to the close. What we're doing, because we're nurturing people the right way to serve them and to build relationships, you're actually slowing the process of the conversation down. But by default, you're speeding up the process to get to the sale. If that makes sense. So by showing up to nurture, to serve, and to build a relationship, you're actually going to speed up the sales process. So, how can you identify who's a cold, who's a lukewarm, who's a warm, and who's a hot prospect? Because everybody, like, if you've done some level of prospecting, if you've done some level of nurturing, if you've done some level of building up an audience, if you've got a Facebook community, if you've got a following online, if you've got a following on Instagram, like, it doesn't matter what social you're currently promoting your services on or putting out content on, it doesn't matter. But if you've built up some level of audience, then there's going to be different people in different areas, in different buckets. So people as cold, how can you identify the cold people from the lukewarm and hot people? So the cold people, these are the people that potentially just entered your world. Now, to try and pitch them, it would be totally wrong. Right? It would be totally wrong. We wouldn't do that. But these are people that's inside this bucket. They don't know you yet. They're not even thinking about you. They don't even think about your offer. They don't know if you've even got an offer. And all they're thinking about right now is them and their own problems. So these would be these people that's in your cold bucket. Now, anybody that's in this area that doesn't really understand you, know you, trust you, not even thinking about you, and they would not even potentially even have a conversation with you. It's like you can identify them very, very quickly. What you need to do then is be able to understand how to then turn those into lukewarm. And because you know who these people are, you'll probably be able to think of these people. The lukewarm people, they know that you exist. They've maybe received a welcome message from you or an invitation to a workshop. They're consuming some of your content and they're following you, but they still don't really trust you just yet. But they're following you, maybe consuming some of your content. And then you've got the warm people in the warm bucket. These people are people that's open to having a deeper conversation with you inside DMs. They're actually open to having a conversation with you, a backwards and forwards conversation with you. They've maybe attended a workshop or a masterclass or some type of live event. They're binging on your content, and like it's evident, right? There'll be people that'll like one post and then you'll post something else out and they'll be on that bandwagon. They'll like and they'll comment on that post. We all have those types of people, right? Just totally everything that you do, they're binging on. They're inside your email list. They're opening your email list. They're clicking on the links inside your email list. And again, they're engaging on your content. So these would be what I would class as warm people. And then you've got the hot people. Your hot people, these people, because they attended your workshop, these people have seen and they've heard your offer. They know what you're all about. They know what you're presenting. They know what your offer is. They've heard the pitch. They've seen the client testimonials. You've served them even to some degree. And this is what I would do, because we engineer sales. Sales doesn't happen, we engineer sales. Sales doesn't happen by default, we make it happen. We don't get clients, we generate clients. We create clients because clients are out there and clients are buying from other people, but they're potentially not just buying from you. So, and people say to me, well, how come they're getting clients and I'm not getting clients? Well, I engineer in clients because we create clients, we engineer clients. They don't just show up. So we make it happen. We can take people from cold to lukewarm to warm to hot. And when you know how to do that, then sales is a lot easier because you know where people are and you know how to take people from lukewarm to warm and then from warm to hot. So you've served them again individually or in a group setting. Because the quickest way to get somebody to actually invest in you is yes to take them from this through this, but then also to be able to serve them like one-to-one or one-to-group in a group environment. Have they booked a call with you? If not, then that's their next step. And they show up to everything and they're ready for a payment link. So you wouldn't send a payment link to somebody that's in the lukewarm bucket, and you wouldn't send a payment link to somebody that's in the warm bucket. But what I'm finding is that like when I started making the most sales is when I understood this, and then sales became a lot easier. And then by having something like a very, very simple sales dashboard that allows you to categorize people, individual people, of where they're at. So like I can come into my pipeline on a daily basis, which is a different variation of that today. It's a more upgraded version of what you can see here. But it is a simple pipeline, no more complicated than this. Each and every day, I can just come into this pipeline, and as you can see here, it's got filter tabs. So I can just click on hot here, and my CRM will just bring everyone that's inside my hot bucket. It's like, wow, like I've got instant access to people that's potentially going to be my next client. And then I can click on the warm bucket filter button and it'll bring everybody up that's inside the warm bucket. So then now, okay, well, these people that's here, I know what I need to do to turn these people into hot. Can you just see how simple this is becoming? Lukewarm, cold people, all people, buyers get instant access to clients. Maybe that's, that I can upgrade or level into a high level offer. But it's a very simple pipeline that allows you to understand where your people are in different segmentations of the sequence. So as I've got here, like sales is a system. It's not a random act of luck, which I think that's the mindset that most people are having when it comes to building business. It's like just throwing a lot of things at the wall, hoping that something's going to stick, and eventually something might stick, but then they can't repeat that because they haven't actually got a system built in place. And this is not automated, but this allows me to have a system, a very simple system that's working in the background that just gives me quick access to the my pipeline so I can move them forward. So that's the mini training. Went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I hope you found that useful, Tracy. And now we're going to hop into the live coaching session. And here's what I'd like. This is the way that I like to coach. This is the way that I like to coach. And this is like cameras on, we unmute, and we just ask a question. And the way that I like to do this is that like whatever you're working on right now, your biggest problem that's at the forefront of your mind. Sorry, my daughter has actually just come in. She wanted to grab something off the sofa. She just tiptoed in. Bless her. And this door's a little bit squeaky. We need to get some oil in it because we just decorated. So try to phrase your question in a very logical sequential order sequence that's straightforward, it's simple to understand, and then let me just deliver the answer. Because what I tend to find is a lot of coaches, they go off on tangents. Coaches are just amazing at going off on tangents and going around the houses just to get to the question. So just ask the question and then let me deliver the answer, and then we can move from there. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Tracy, if you'd like to unmute yourself. Wow, I'm sweating buckets here. Sorry about this. It's
It's
just so
raining a
hot.
lot where we are today.
Really, I've even got
Mhm.
ice inside of here.
Well, we went from like 100 degrees to so hot, like 108 index, you couldn't even be outside hardly, to
Really.
just like raining every day. So it's cooled it off
Mm.
somewhat. So
And where are you,
yeah.
Tracy?
Um, Missouri in the
Right.
US,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
about an hour south of St. Louis. We're just kind of out in the country a little bit.
All right. I love the countryside. Love the
Yeah. Yeah.
countryside. Okay, so what are you working on? What's the top of mind question?
Well, honestly, it's been a little bit discouraging. Quickly, I got into life coaching from a horrible season of like severe burnout and depression and stuff.
Yeah.
So I came through that and I had found the coaching. I went through it for myself, just to be certified. I loved it. It was kind of like a lifeline.
Yes.
So I just thought I would like kind of pick up and do the coaching. Now, the problem is we live in the country, we're very rural, and I know there's a whole world out there, but
Yes.
getting people to find me, um, we do pastor a church. We go to all kinds of revivals out of state. So people know me from everywhere. And they're like, oh, we love how you post every day. And they follow me, and I'm glad for that. But so I have learned about the know, like, and trust
Hmm.
factor. But my problem is where I'm at is it's so poor that like several people, I've had a lot of people call me about my coaching program and about coaching until they find out it's not free. And then they're just like, we can, but a lot of people, I know you invest what's important and I get that.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people from whatever state they're in, I know them personally and I know they really can't, they don't have any
Sure.
money. But am hardly charging a dime right now. I'm
Hmm.
just trying to get started. And I mean, I can't find anybody that has any money. So I'm trying to know I need to branch out. I love my tribe. I'm thankful for them.
Yes.
But I know I need to branch out past that. And that's what I can't seem to do.
Okay. That's amazing, right? We can work on that, and we can solve that. So what I always find with businesses is that there's problems at every stage of the business, but once you understand how to solve each problem, then business becomes a lot easier, right? So right now, basically, you're starting fresh, and you're looking for paint lines. You're looking for paint lines, right?
Yeah.
So I think the first question that I need to ask is, what is your offer? Because there's a lot of paint clients out there. There's a lot of people that will be willing to invest in coaching,
Mhm.
but we got to make sure that we find the right people that want your coaching.
Yeah, well, when I went through my coaching certification, this is what threw me off.
Yeah.
It was like a 6 month where we went through and learned about coaching and got our passed our test and all of that. Never even mentioned coaching programs. Okay, so this is what confused me.
Hmm.
I came out of there, it was like one-on-one coaching. I came out of there. I was like, I find nobody that seems to like, they're like, we don't do that. We're not certified. And I don't know. Everybody's like, you need a coaching program. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I don't know what a coaching program is. So I met another lady from England. She put me through, she had a 3 month program. Angie Mays, the You First Method. I don't know if you know her, but so she put me through her program. So I thought, well, at least I could kind of see what it was. So
Hmm.
I made a 6 week program called Made for More, Reclaim Your Purpose, Rewrite Your Story. It's kind
Yeah.
of for women. So I have that done. So that's kind of the only thing I
Okay.
have now. I kind of am crap at like tech. So I do have like a landing page. It's not nearly as good as kind of like what most people's are, but I did make one. I did get through the program. So that's kind of as far.
Okay.
So when you say like your workshops, never even done a workshop.
Fine.
And yeah, so I'm like, I have so much to learn.
It's fine. Okay. Do you mind if we go back to grassroots?
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Um, right. Let's simplify this. You don't need a website. You don't need a landing page. You don't need any tech. You need your voice, and you need your marketing message. And we need to understand who you want your marketing message to land for. So let's start with this. Um, what type of conversation do you want to have with people? Like you talk about, you created this program for women. Um, Tell me about that.
Well, it's faith based. I could do it either way.
Yep.
Either put the scripture or the people that don't want to hear that. But the people that I have put through coaching, a lot of the women, for some reason, they just sit there and cry. They're like, I don't even know who I am anymore. And they've just been through such bad past. So they're like, we love your program. It's on just kind of like your purpose and identity and mindset.
Okay. So
So
can
it's
I ask you
mainly
just
for
okay? So let me
women.
just can I do you mind if I interrupt? Because
Yes,
you just
please.
mentioned something, so I want to just pick up on this. You mentioned that they've had a bad background. Can you like give me? Can you make that a little bit more situational?
Yes, most people, we have it what we call mercy houses. It helps people kind of get up on their feet. They've all lived in drug houses. I've coached a woman whose stepdad literally sold her for drugs. These people have had no upbringing or through horrible marriages and just real crazy stories. So they kind of come broken, pretty much.
Okay. So, and do you want to speak to people that's still broken, or do you want to speak to people that's potentially been broken, but they've now hit some level of success, but because they've experienced the broken, that's still showing up in the areas of their life?
Yeah, I try to get them to really like be healed and quit looking back and progress through on their mindset and
Yeah. Because what we need to understand, like you started off straight away saying, there's a lot of people inside your community that really like what you do, but that don't have the financial resources to invest in coaching. So there's a lot of broken people out there, and no disrespect to anybody, but
right,
there's a lot of broken people out there that would need coaching, but they can't invest in coaching, and that doesn't serve you as a coach because you need to build a business.
right.
So having a marketing message that's speaking to those people is just going to attract more of those people. And if you're trying to build a business, then that's going to be really, really hard. So building a business can be either hard or easy. To make it easier, there's still going to be a lot of people out there that's potentially come from those hard upbringings, but they've now got some level of success. Yet they've still got the identity or some of the trauma from the upbringings. They're still maybe lingering around. They're stopping them from thriving even more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then these people, whilst they might have broken out of something, they've got more resources, but they're still struggling with the problem. So, so they're not broke financially, but they're still maybe they still need the identity work and your work to heal them fully, so they can grow even more. So potentially what because it's all about identifying your target market and then engineering that marketing message that's going to speak to those people and not speak to those people. And I'm going to give you, I'm actually going to share something. I'm going to share something. I'm going to jump back into my presentation and I'm going to whiz over here to a slide that's shared with my clients. Let me just X out of this. I'll be able to find it quicker if I do it this way. Where's it gone? There we go. There's a lot of people at level one. And what I mean by level one, there's a lot of people out there in the world that are struggling with pain and they're broke. And then there's a lot of people that's now at rock bottom, which is level two. If you focus your marketing message pointing to people that's suffering with the pain, or level two that's at rock bottom, these people are not ready for coaching. Because we've got to understand the psychology of where people are at. And if you want to build a business, it's important that we reach people that's at level 3 and level 4. Level 3, this is where people, they're drawing the line in the sand. They're not going to take no more shit, pardon my French. Enough's enough. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They've tried everything, they've suffered with the pain, they've hit rock bottom, but you know what? They're not going to stop. Because when they're at level 3, and when you can meet people at level 3 with your marketing message, that's when that's when they're going to be like, wow, Tracy knows me more than I know myself. And Tracy's speaking directly to where I'm at in my journey, my own journey. And this is where people are willing to dig their heels in even more to climb to level 4 where they can rise. And if you're always speaking to people that's at the bottom of the ladder at the pain point, they're not ready for the transformation.
Yeah, and I think I've recently discovered that because I did go in the last 2 weeks and kind of edit um, and talk about with the program that I'm doing the RISE framework. So
Right.
yeah, I'm trying to get people to, yeah, like you said, I've been trying to learn to post maybe from the results side.
So speak situationally. And this is why I said to you earlier on, can you make it more situational? Let me give you an example. So I've had 4 women that's all turned out to be rape victim coaches. They didn't come to me as rape victim coaches, but they transitioned into rape victim coaches. And the reason being is that they were just life coaches and they struggled to get their marketing message out there that would impact. And we went on a bit of a self-discovery exercise. where I extracted some information from them. And it turned out that these four ladies, in the past, they've all suffered some level of, or they've been a victim of some level of rape. Um, and they were like, okay, I want to help other women that they've had some level of success, but they've experienced the trauma of rape as a child or in the adolescence, but it's still impacting them in adult life, in their success, in their career, in their other relationships. So now they can make their marketing message situational and relational to the marketplace. So when they talk about the tipping point area in level three, they can make their marketing message relevant to the people that they want to attract. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So going back to your question, where do you find clients? How can you find like nobody's listening to you? Well, if you can make your marketing message situational, as I've just explained, then it's super, super simple and it's easy to identify groups on social media that are full of women that's potentially being raped or this experience that experience in their life at some point, and they're now stuck in the trauma. And even though life's moved on and they've grown up, it's still impacting them at some level in their life. So they can speak directly to them, and then they become magnetic. So just speaking about passion and speaking about um, finding your purpose means so much to so many different people, and it's not situational.
Yeah.
So if you can make your marketing message more situational, more relevant to a specific demographic group of people, then you're going to have a much bigger impact. And it's going to be a lot easier to speak directly to those people, find those people, get your marketing message in front of those people, like super, super quick. Start gaining interaction and start taking people through the document I showed you earlier on of taking people through this sequence of cold, lukewarm, warm, hot. But when you don't know what your marketing message is, or when you don't know what your offer or who your offer is really designed to have inside, it's really hard to find where your marketplace is and then get your message in front of them to take them through this four-stage temperature sequence. Does that help at all, Tracy?
Yeah, I guess I'm just having trouble, I guess narrowing that down because I post a lot about women, who maybe have been through burnout or depression
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe it's just not narrow enough.
Okay. So you can talk about burnout. Have you experienced burnout yourself?
Oh my God. Yes. I thought I almost died. It was horrible. It was horrible. For years, my whole life just stopped and I couldn't even hardly function. It was horrible.
Okay. I kind of picked up on something, but then you talked fast. You said you almost what?
I felt like I was like dying during that season. I didn't even know. I just like overnight, like my whole system almost shut down. It was
I
a
thought you said that.
nightmare. Yeah.
I thought you said that. And can I ask you what was the cause of that, if you don't mind being vulnerable?
Honestly, I think I homeschooled four boys. We always had people living with us. Like I said, we've pastored a church, which our ministry is wonderful, but we used to we still do set up like huge tents. They can hold like 1,500 people every night, every town around, states around for like months at a time. And I think for I went like 12 years and had like 12-hour days every day of the week almost. And we always had people. I would wake up at night almost hyperventilating. It was all really good stuff, but we didn't know boundaries. We didn't have a lot of help at the time. We've really learned. we do everything different now.
Mhm.
But I just woke up one day and it was just like everything was just flashing white. I just thought I was dying. And it's like, all I would do was cry after that for years. I could do nothing hardly. Just I went from doing everything to just like bam, nothing. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? So it was crazy. So it just kind of gave me yeah, I'm like, what am I going to do next? So I found, like I said, the coaching, and it was such a help. I'm like, wow, I want to pursue this and like take these courses. And
You've got a very powerful. Thank you for sharing that. You don't know me, so I really appreciate you, being vulnerable there. Um, you've got a very, very powerful backstory, very moving story to share to the world, and people need to hear that. They need to hear that they're not alone. And I know that there's. It sounds like for however long you've done what you've done, is like you've given your all to other people, and you've not served yourself. You've neglected yourself, but you've showed up for other people, which is a beautiful thing. But at some point, there's going to be a wall that you're going to hit, right? And when you hit that wall, then like Tracy cannot give anymore, and then then there's a consequence that Tracy's going to pay for doing that. How many women right now are out there? They're still giving, 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 and they're about to hit that wall, and they need to hear your message. They need to wake up. They need to see what's happening, and they need to see the consequence of what's going to happen before it happens. And you've got a message. You can serve these people, and whether they are ladies in the corporate world, that's giving all to the 9 to 5, to the CEO, to the growth of the company, and they're neglecting themselves. And whilst it might be a different situation, right? Even like ministry, pastoral work is still an organization that you were given to. Like,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and the crazy thing was it's like I said, it was always good stuff, so we didn't know. We had no idea.
Right.
My husband actually went through a really kind of bad season too. I think we had just done so much and it was so, like I said, we'd see so many, like, I know everybody don't maybe think the same, but we see so many people get miracles and healings and just off the chart stuff that so we kept going, but yeah, nobody told us you're going to burn out even though it's good. You're doing too many hours, too many days, too many years. So yeah, that's the problem. People don't know. You don't know
So,
till it's too late.
right, absolutely. Yeah, people don't know what they don't know until it actually hits them, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a very powerful message. Now, what you need to do is you need to be able to extract that message out of yourself, and then be able to formulate that message in a way, in a structure that when somebody sees it, hears it, or listens to it, it's like, wow. So, you could have, and I'm just going to fly off the seat of my pants, but you can have something like along the lines of, girl, I see you. You're out there each and every day, each week, each month, year on year on year on year. You're giving your all. You're giving your all to the corporate world, to the boss, to the 9 to 5, jumping from meeting to meeting, corporate room, event to event, hotel to hotel, plane to plane, country to country, state to state, giving your all to everything, but you're neglecting yourself. But you can't see it. Can you see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
Right? That and you can. I'm making a situation. I'm speaking to a specific lady, a specific woman that is doing that.
Yeah, and I feel like I've tried to do so many posts like that. Like, I done a series, like Girl Get Up, The Woman in the Mirror. I mean, I try to I just maybe I'm not doing it good enough,
No.
or I'm just not reaching the right market yet because I've tried to tell my stuff in story form. Like I couldn't even walk in a restaurant, kind of tell it in story
Yeah.
form. So I've tried so many different approaches. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So
Okay,
yeah.
so that tells me again, as I said to you earlier on, business is built upon problems. Once you understand one problem and you solve that, then you move on to another one. If we've got the marketing message down and you've tried the marketing message, but the marketing message is not landing, that's not to say that it's not the right message, because that message is a byproduct of you. So that's the right message. To engineer that message to suit somebody else, that message no longer is in alignment with you. So that's definitely the right message that you need to be bringing to the world. So what that now tells me is that you've just built the wrong audience for that wrong message, for that right message. So it's like, okay, so how do we get this right message in front of the right people and start
Yeah.
cultivating an audience that your message is designed to land on? So it's more in alignment. So there's nothing wrong with your message, there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with the offer. It's you just need to get that in front of the right people. And as we know, social media platforms, they're all built on pockets of communities. So there's going to be communities on Facebook, communities on Instagram, communities in other areas that are purposely being built for these ladies. Other people have built it. Other people have done the heavy lifting. All you need to do is just get is shall we say infiltrate, is get in front of those right people and start sharing your message in front of the right people. And once you understand that and engineer that, it will start blowing up because your message is designed to impact these people. And they're waiting for your message. They're already there, but they need to hear your message because then your message is going to allow them to be seen because you've lived it, you've walked it, you've challenged yourself through it.
Yeah. Yeah, because now I'm just mainly on Facebook, I guess. I don't do like a bunch of live videos, and I know I need to work on that, but I don't know. I just haven't. I guess that's what I need to start on next. Or, like you said in your presentation, maybe a workshop. But I guess I've just been kind of like, I don't know what to say on my workshop. I guess because I haven't attended a lot of stuff
Yeah,
to know.
I wouldn't worry about that right now, Tracy. If I'm being totally honest with you,
Okay.
people try to run before they can walk. Just slowly, and build up because you're not in that situation yet. You're here, you're still grassroots. So here's what I would set you a task to do if you're open to like me holding you
Yeah.
accountable for one thing. Is because you mentioned, you should be working to go live. Go live. Just go live. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, nothing fancy, nothing audacious, and just open up with your message. Share your story. Just I don't know if you've heard this before, but this is so true. Your mess is your message, right? Because by showing up in your mess, you're showing up in somebody else's mess. You're allowing other people to meet you for where, and you might not be still in your mess, right? But your past message, your message.
Yeah.
So just show up online and hey, I've been set a challenge, but you can use my coaches, my mentors set me a challenge to share why I'm here and what I do and why it all matters. And share your story. Share your burnout story. How each and every day you gave and you gave and you gave and you gave. And you never accepted anything else. You never asked for anything else because you were there to serve. Because you were doing God's work. Share your message and allow people to see what you've gone through.
Yeah, because I think I've done three live videos, but it's been more like faith-based and on confidence and
Yeah,
stuff, but it hasn't been about the
yeah,
coaching message.
yeah. Show up, be authentic, just be natural. Share your story. I believe we're coming through into a new era inside of coaching, and we've gone through all the automation, right? We're obviously in the era of AI, right, where there's a lot of fake stuff, and people can't differentiate the difference, like what's real and what's not real, and everything's getting spliced together, and everything's out of context, especially in media, and So people want to know who people are these days. They want to go to back to human connection. And they want real, they want raw, and they want honesty. And they want the truth. So share the truth. Show up. Be authentic. Be real. Nothing fancy. And just share your story and allow people to connect with you. But then also it's important to get out there in front of the real audience, into the right audience, and start bringing people your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
One more question. How much are you charging for your offer?
I do my whole program for like $500, which I've never even posted that. That's why I said I'm doing it for like pennies. I was
Yeah.
offering for people that I knew really couldn't afford it, like $50 a session. And so I put a few people through my program at that price, but some people's like, oh, there's just no way I can do 50 a session. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really stuck, like I said, not in the audience that can afford it.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody that's just starting off is what I would suggest is you're in a bit of a hustle phase. You want clients, you want money, you want cash in the bank, you want to build your business. And I would kind of really, you're building a business, that means you need to show up to grow the business because it's your business. So it's you to take control of the growth of that business. And in order to do that, you've got to work, you've got to hustle. Like there's no business that's ever grown without hustling. But everybody's talking about you shouldn't hustle to build your business. It's BS in my opinion. Um, get 5 clients as quick as you can. In the next 30 days, selling $500. You can do it. I know you can do it. Use some of my belief, right? And some of my confidence. 5 clients in the next 30 days at $500, but you don't stay there, you increase your prices. You increase your prices to $1,500. And then you get 5 clients at $1,500, then you climb higher. Because if you're speaking to people that's already successful at some level, they've got the resources to invest. And selling something that they know is something that they really need. And when you sell something so powerful that's going to totally transform their life, and you're selling at $500, there's a disconnect. They expect something like that, they're ready to invest. So you need to be able to climb. But I totally understand where you're at. And what I would say is get 5 people in and $500 as quickly as you can. Next 30 days, you can do that. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work, and it's going to be challenging. But you get to go first, and you get to make it happen, um, and then climb from there.
Yep.
Can we do that? It's a
Yep.
challenge, 30-day challenge,
Yeah.
right? And look at it as a sales sprint. Next 30 days, you're going to go on a sales sprint because you're creating a business, you're building a business. And your only focus is to get 5 clients. And then what do we do from that? Well, we find the people that need it and we take them from cold to lukewarm to warm to hot.
Quite the challenge.
Business is not easy, for
Right.
sure, but it's a skill set. Everything to do with building a business is simply a skill set. And do you know Jim Rohn? Have you ever heard of Jim
Not
Rohn?
really, not
No.
much. Just a couple
So
of times.
yeah, so Jim Rohn used to be Tony Robbins's mentor back in the day, and I used to listen to a lot of Jim Rohn. And one of his famous phrases says, we are the only species on this living planet that actually can actually learn a skill set. Human beings can learn, develop any skill set. You just got to learn it. Most people don't learn it to levels of mastery. That's one thing I do with our clients. We everything I do is built out in 3 phases. We build it, we activate it, and then we master it. Most people kind of like touch on building skill sets, and then it's like, oh, it didn't work. So they throw the teddy out of the cot, they do something else. That didn't work, so they do something else. Instead of mastering it, It's like, no, we're developing a skill set. It's not going to work straight away, but come on, let's master this skill set. So you know everything you need to do. Then we've developed a skill set. Once you've developed a skill set of making sales online, you know how to make sales each and every day because it's simply a skill set.
Right.
It is a challenge when you don't have those skill sets, but that doesn't mean to say you can't do it. It just means to say that you need to develop the skill sets and develop the muscles,
Exactly.
right? If I stood into your shoes of what you've done over the last 10, 12 years, I'd be like, wow, I can't do that. And you'd be like, well, you can. It's just you just need to know how, right? Same thing.
Right.
So you've got this and you can do it definitely.
Yeah. 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 I've just been trying to figure out, yeah,
I
kind of
know.
how to position and how to do it, but I'm definitely been sticking with it. So I'm glad I didn't just give up. I'm just been
100%. It starts with your marketing
learning.
message, starts with your marketing message, but then getting that marketing message in front of the right people. And they're there. Find these people. Okay, I'll let you into a little secret. The quickest way. Find other people that's already speaking to your marketplace. So find other coaches in your marketplace that's created offers, programs similar to yours that are selling to your marketplace. Because you're not the only person in the world that's doing something similar to you, right? You've not created something
Right.
fresh, right? There's other people that's selling into your marketplace. Find who those people are and join their communities. Will be full of people that want what you have and start posting your message inside of there. Quickest way to get known, quickest way to get your message in front of the right people.
Yeah, because I've tried to join a few groups and apparently wasn't the right groups because a lot of the stuff if you tried to post or something they wasn't clear in it or some groups you weren't allowed to comment and do stuff and you couldn't really yeah, so I've kind of left those groups and I'm trying to find
Yeah. There's thousands and thousands of groups. I don't
yeah,
know how many groups there's. You just gotta do your due diligence very, very quickly. Like literally you can spend an hour after this call, find some groups, join a bunch of them. Some you'll get rejected, some you'll never get approved, but some will approve you. It's a numbers game and it's a process of elimination, shall we say. You'll get an handful of groups and then you're in. Like the doors open. And inside those groups, there might be 14,000 people, there might be a couple 100,000 people. You've got direct access to communities. Start sharing your story. Hey, this is my
do you,
story.
yeah, do you think it's better because I've been in some groups that's also like just for women trying to do business but it's all business people or
Mhm.
more just personal groups, or does it matter?
So it does matter. Well, like 100% matters. If I'm running Facebook ads, well, when I used to run a Facebook ad agency and clients were investing $10,000 a month into ads, you need to make sure that those ads are specifically targeting a specific audience. Same with groups. It's important that you are getting access to very specific audiences. So not just anybody. If you want to speak to, if your marketing message is designed to impact um, successful female high achievers or groups that's specifically being built for females of burnout, then you need to access those groups and not just general groups that's just filled with or designed for success or growth or business. Or you need to be very, very laser specific. And
Okay.
then your marketing message is going to have a bigger impact.
Yeah, because I've seen some groups, a friend of mine invited me in, but it was kind of everybody was, like you said earlier, still so broken that they was,
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck in something. Well, I went through so much depression. I don't want to be sitting around stuck in a depression mode group again by no means. So yeah, I get what you're saying about keep moving,
Yeah. And that's why if like everybody else, um, if you are climbing the ladder and you're speaking to people that's to some level already achieved success, like you can say, hey, I know you've achieved success at some level, and whilst you've got everything else down in your life, like there's still elements of you where you're just giving, 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 pleasing, pleasing, pleasing. If you are in communities of other successful people, there's on the verge of burnout. It's going to be a lot easier to sell to people that's got money than
Yeah.
it is to try to convince anybody else. It's a lot easier to sell to people that's ready to buy than try to convince people that are broke. And it might sound harsh and be cold, but it's the truth of business.
Right.
And unfortunately, you're running a business, and in order for you to have a profitable business, it's got to be that way. You've got to sell to people that's ready to invest, and that's got the money to invest. And there's no argument there, or well, come back in 3 months and I'll try to save some money up. It's hard, and business will be hard if you're always speaking to that level of um, people, clientele.
Right. Okay.
And I understand if you've always been speaking to those people, then business is hard and it's going to be slow. And that's why you might feel or think, well, can I really get 5 clients in the next 30 days that's going to pay me $500? Because your experience has been speaking to people that hasn't got money.
Yeah.
So when you start speaking to people that's got money, you're totally different. It will like totally open up a different world of business for you.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Tracy, that's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed coaching you around that.
Yeah, I appreciate the help so much. So
Like, my
excited.
pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, who's next? So we've got Corinne and we've got Tidvik. Who would like to come? Can we turn our cameras on? This is all about turning cameras on, letting see who's here, seeing your eyes, the whites of your eyes. We can't do business hiding behind images. Corinne. Come on then. Unmute yourself, my friend.
Yeah, hi Andy.
Come forth. Come forth. What's your question for today?
No question. I'm just listening and still working on my homework from yesterday.
Okay. So tell me what have you worked on since yesterday?
Just playing around with the idea which teams would be better served. It's a good question and yeah, needs a little thinking.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So, do you mind if okay, do you mind if I coach you like I coach clients?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Um, what's taking so long? How come we've not solved this problem or come up with a solution?
I can do too much.
Yes. So, in the next 5 minutes, I want you to pick something
Okay.
because it shouldn't take any longer than just making a decision. And then we pick it up and run with it. So what you are an intelligent guy, you've studied so much, you've mastered so much, you can help so many different people at so many different levels through leadership, corporate world and a lot of other stuff. And you're being pulled from pillar to post right now. You potentially can do this, you can also potentially do this. What are your current options?
Current option in terms of what? Accessibility or again packages or
Um, your offer. So don't worry about packages, just the offer, just the thing that you want to sell people into.
well, the core offer it's like I told you, this trainings on communication and team building and building team performance and also working with leaders to manage teams better, more about people management,
Right,
understanding
okay.
different personalities. So it applies to any sort of team.
Yeah, okay. So, which, as we talked about yesterday, There's a lot of different teams in a lot of corporations. Which team do you want to serve? Like if you go into an
I never worked in a
organization,
corporation, so I still have no idea. I'm just researching. So I didn't even think about that idea, different types of teams, because again, you can have a 5 people team, you can have a 50. You need to understand how they communicate, what they need, what
yeah,
motivates them. I didn't think in terms of how they are at the different levels in the company of impact. Like you said,
yeah,
which would impact the company the most.
because you can go into an organization, into an organization and say, hey, like, are you struggling with is your marketing team underperforming, or is your sales team underperforming? Now, when I used to be a consultant and I used to go into organizations and consult organizations, one thing that I knew, or I found out, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. It just didn't make sense to me. Is that there was the sales team over there, there was the marketing team over there, there was the design team over there, there was another team over there, and not one team coordinated together.
Mhm.
There were no connection between any of the teams. So there was a lot of disconnect with inside the organization. One thing that really frustrated me as a salesperson is that the sales organization never interacted with the marketing department. So the marketing department were running campaigns and they didn't let the sales team know that they're running campaigns. Like, how can an organization operate in flow and move forward if there's a lot of disconnect with inside the teams, a lot of disconnection? So there's no
Okay.
leadership, right? So, um, but then there was no leadership with inside each team either. So my question to you, and again, let's just pick something because we can mind masturbate over this for a long time.
Well, we can start with with small businesses who they kind of
Small
they're new, they
businesses,
build from scratch, so they have even more incentive to truly understand the people around them and really build culture in the
right?
company.
Perfect, excellent. So small businesses, at what level growth are they at? Have they hit the million? Are they a growth business? Are they like 500,000 to a million? Are they a
Let's say
million
from
to
500,000, yeah.
500,000? So they've got a goal to hit like a million. So they're in the growth state, right? Growth stage of building the business. So and in order for that to happen, they need to be more organized. They need organizational structure. They need the right team to support the growth. Um, is that something that you can help them to create that structure?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's exactly the type of startup leader who has the technical skills, but he just got promoted or starting his own business. He doesn't have the people skills.
Right, love it. Love it. So we're really getting dialed in here, right? So we've got somebody that they've developed the skill set, they may be industry led, they may be they've got a foot in the industry, they're setting up themselves and they want to create a growth business. Maybe also they've brought business along with them from their existing workplace or something. They've built up a community or customer base. So they've got 500,000 in sales or something, and they're wanting to grow. But they don't have the structural organization, they don't have the team with them. And you can help them to start building this growth team so they can experience or have acceleration growth.
Absolutely, from recruiting, from assessing the
Love it.
person, yeah, all levels.
Right, so now we've built an offer. But not only have we built an offer, we've got a more understanding of the marketplace. So now, same to Tracy, we now need to don't worry about the offer. Don't worry about how the offer is structured right now. Don't worry about what's the first thing that you're going to do with a client. Don't worry about that. Concentrate on, because you are more as a consultant than a coach. That's the way that I would see you, right?
I can do all. I can do trainings, I can do consulting, I can do coaching. I
Yeah,
mean, I have 20 certifications and
I would bracket yourself as a consultant,
yeah,
a
that covers
growth
everything.
consultant, a growth consultant for startup growth companies,
Hmm.
because that would speak to them. So then you can, everything that you do with inside your media, inside your marketing message, is geared to speak to this caliber of person that you want to serve. And I would suggest your best platform, would you say, is LinkedIn?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot easier to target those people on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. So my only question is, do I just just target them, or how do I build a following on LinkedIn?
Okay.
Because another group is I am affiliated with the Marshall Goldsmith methodology, the stakeholder coaching, where they develop new and emerging leader, like someone is promoting it in a leadership role, and again they come from a technical background,
Yes.
and it's training in the people skill. So it doesn't have to be an owner; it can be someone who got promoted, but they don't have the experience of managing 20 people. You know, he was a great
Right.
engineer, he was a great programmer.
Yeah.
So do I just approach those people who I see in that position, or how do I build a following on this?
Right. So get clarity on exactly the right person, understand where they're at, and you want to, these people, they're busy people. So maybe they're not consuming a lot of content online because they're in the startup phase. So inside the startup phase, potentially they're doing a lot of stuff themselves, and they don't have a lot of time just to consume a lot of material.
And it's already an issue, a coaching issue, micromanaging.
Sorry?
Where already a coaching issue, micromanaging. They don't
Right.
delegate, they don't know how to manage the team, so they do everything themselves and
They're
have
doing
no
everything
time for the
themselves,
real
right? So these
stuff.
are super
Yeah.
busy people. So these people, you need to approach these people totally different. These people appreciate directness because they're direct themselves. So you need to have a direct, you need to be able to have direct access to these people and gives them something very specific that is going to grab their attention.
My what you we talk about, my belief or maybe my blog, there is, don't these people get, bombarded by 20 messages a day on LinkedIn?
Maybe. So you need to be one of those 20 people.
Okay.
Right? Right? Maybe so. Maybe so. And if they don't hear from you, then they never will hear from you, and they'll never have the opportunity to be able to buy from you and experience what you bring to the world. Right? So yes, there's competition out there, but you've got to be part of that competition. But maybe play the game differently. I don't know how other people are. I don't know what your competition is doing or other people's doing, but it's easy to find out what it is that they're doing. Do some market research. What are other consultants doing in this space in order to be able to get somebody's attention? Look what other people are doing and then do something different. Because chances are, here's what I find to be true when it comes to prospecting. Most people are goddamn lazy. To be truthful, right? Most people are lazy. Most people are copying other people. And then if you're copying other people because that's what other people are doing, then guess what? You're just in the mix of what other people are doing. So people are the marketplace is so sophisticated today. You've got to be different because they've already heard everything, they've seen everything before. Everybody's having the same conversation, so we've got to be different. So understand what other people are doing. Everybody's potentially going to be doing the same thing. Say, okay, so how can I play a different game?
Yeah, because what I see is all the coaches, they post every day, this
Yeah.
meaningless post, and
Here's what I would
it's
do.
flooding.
Here's what I would do. I would I would set myself a task. Identify maybe 5 or 10 potential clients every day. It's easy to find. You can research. You can research growth companies. You can research startups, and you can if you look at trade shows, there's trade shows for startups. So you go to a trade show website, and it'll give you all the stands, everybody that's paid for a stand at this large event. Well, they've paid for a stand at this large event because they want exposure. They're a startup. So you've got instant access to all these startups that's attending this trade show. So you can go to their website, you can find out a little bit about their company, and then you can reach out to the person, to the CEO, to the person that's ahead of the company, and you can send them a direct message saying, "Hey, I'm thinking on my feet here, right? Something along the lines of, I've just created you a 7-minute Loom video that's going to allow you to build a sustainable team that's going to allow you to grow to 2.5 million in the next 12 months."
Hmm.
Is that going to get the attention of somebody that wants to grow to 2.5 million in the next 6 months, 12 months? You can create some type of a presentation, a simple presentation that you just record a Loom video. So if you're a $5,000 company and you've got a milestone to hit your first million and then grow to 2.5 million in the next 12 months or 2 years, if that's your trajectory that you're heading towards, then this framework of a structure is going to allow you to do that. And you can maybe show them how to structure their organization if they don't have organizational structure. So you're leading with value. So if you dandle that carrot in front of somebody that wants a 2.5 million growth, that's going to pique their curiosity. Hey, I've got a suggestion of how you can structure your organization that's going to accelerate your growth to 2.5 million in the next 2 years. Is that something that you're interested in? If so, I can drop you this Loom that I've just created for you. Is that going to pique their interest, their curiosity? Instead
Yeah,
of just
it's a good idea.
instead of just being cold called, you can literally you can send 10 messages out a day, 20 messages out a day, say messages to these people, and you're going to get 3 or 4 people that come back and say, "Yeah, drop me the Loom." Share the Loom. You've now opened the door. You've served by value in advance. You've showcased your expertise. You've educated them. That now you've opened the door. They understand is totally what you can do and how you can help them. As simple as that.
Thank you. It helps. Thank you.
Yeah. So each business, so what I've just done for Corian is created a sales pathway. How to turn somebody from cold to lukewarm to warm to hot. But there's so many different sales pathways. So Tracy's sales pathway is going to be different to Corian's. Mine's different because everybody's in different marketplaces, so there's different sales pathways. And once you understand your sales pathway, you understand what you need to do to get a client. So in the last 20 minutes for yourself, less than, we've identified the offer, we've identified the person, we've identified the sales pathway. And that's what we do with clients. It doesn't need to take any longer than that to solve problems, get things in place so you can action it and run with it. Too many coaches just sat in problems for far too long when you just need a simple answer. You've got the answer. Let's run with it. Let's just pick it up, activate it, and then master it. Master that skill set. The first time you record a Loom video, it's going to be great. It's not going to be the best. So what? It's your first. Take the pressure off. But do another, do another, do another. How can I change this? What do I need to change this? What can I take out or add in? How can I say something a little bit different? So everyone's going to be slightly different based on the same principle and same framework. And this is what I used to do when I used to be in the consultancy space. It works. Because you're leading by curiosity that gets them to put their hand up to say, yes, send it to me, you send it to them, and then you can educate them by default by also showcasing your expertise. And keep the Loom video short and direct, not long-winded, not 20 minutes, 5, 7 minutes, that's it. All you're doing is just give them an overview. You're not getting nuanced, you're not going deep, you're not breaking it down. It is just what it is. It's high level. It's high level. It's just enough to allow them to see, wow, this is the answer. This is the solution. This is what I need. Cool. Tedvik, I never know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Please tell me if I am or not. You need to unmute yourself. You're muted. I can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
They pronounce it differently in every language, so I'm okay. In English, they say Tatevik, in Armenian,
Tatevik.
Tatevik. So I'm okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Listening to things you shared, and this was my poster for my company, Drelander Enterprise. Now I'm planning to operate secret. Yeah, and this is different things that I do, like Vivine. What I'm having is actually on the 26th, we are having a wealth summit with one of my teams, a Blended for Success. If anybody's in Canada, please join in Toronto. I'm not sure where everybody is from, but what I'm doing is I am bringing a vending table with one of the ladies who's a partner in the oils, like doTERRA. The other one is my one of the people I'm exhibiting. Is bringing artwork, beautiful numismatic art, and I might also perform as well that night.
So can I just stop you? So this
Yeah.
is not about promotion. This is about showing up to be coached.
Yeah.
So what's your question?
Yeah, and my question is, because we were talking about the offers, right? So I listened to what you were sharing. Like in spiritual, I target, yes, the niches where I have there people are buying similar coaching, right?
Yeah.
For business, I think more like, yes, I have LinkedIn, I have leads coming from LinkedIn related to business help that people need. So I so I was thinking of basically 4 P's in marketing, right? Product, price, promotion, placement. So I do want to do a spiritual work. I am doing it, but I also want to do all the other stuff I'm doing. So, and I have different niches for each, and I have different how do you say, lead generation for each, right? So that's why the question is. Yeah, I'm trying to build kind of a system where I'm most efficient with all that stuff. So so that is kind of there. I'm not struggling, like I'm figuring out my way.
So what's the question?
Yeah, don't really have a question. I think it's more like with spiritual work, I'm thinking how to get the high ticket offer, right? So what I'm thinking is, do I do a webinar and just get people into, like, make it like a 2-day retreat but online, or do I do like sell a course? Because I developed a program called Living from a Soul Light, right? And I'm thinking, like, how do I do it? Just do I take people on a retreat? Do I do it online? Do I do it just one-on-one involvement where I show, like, do a 2-3 day training with every person? So I'm like trying to figure out, my format for that. What do you think? So
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that question alone is quite mixed up, because you're talking about, should I run a webinar? Should I sell a course? Should I do a retreat? Should I
Yeah.
do this, 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 and this, and this?
So
And
far,
and
just do.
a lot of those things are all different because selling a course is a webinar is a conversion event. A challenge is a
Yeah.
conversion event. A masterclass is a conversion event. Selling a course is a sale.
Yeah.
But in order to make a sale, you need to have a conversion event,
Yeah.
right? So, if you are selling something less than $1,000, you don't really need a conversion event. It's easy to generate sales less for around about that without having a conversion event. However, if you're wanting to sell iTicket, you mentioned iTicket. If you're wanting to sell iTicket, then you need to have a conversion event. So if you want to sell a product or a course or a program, shall we say, mentorship above $2,000,
Mm.
then you want to be running some type of an event. So a masterclass, a workshop, a challenge. And the premise of each is that obviously for people to show up in a close proximity environment to you, where you
Mhm.
can help them person to person, real to live, and educate them and then sell them on the back end. The premise of a challenge is that more people are spending more time with you, and the more time they spend with you, the more qualified they are and the easier the sale is. So what you need to ask yourself is, okay, is your marketplace, are they sophisticated people? If they're sophisticated people and depend on the price that you're selling it at, if it's higher price, then chances are a longer event might be better because people can spend more time with you.
Mhm. Mhm. I see. Yeah. I think I might do it in a retreat format, kind of try to talk to people, maybe create a video, inviting video, and then, and
So is the retreat free?
uh, I can get my people. I know people who have venues and stuff as well, so it's should be okay. Yeah. We just have to maybe we can sell the tickets, right? And have a retreat. It's not going to be easy it's possible to do it online. Like I did it online individually, right? It was something like that. They need to feel your energy, right? So it's best to do it in person. That's how I feel about it. So I was thinking of offering a program online, creating an online course. And then I think it's just going to destroy the whole, thing because,
There's no reason why, if it's online, it should devalue the impact that you have, because people are showing up because they want the transformation, and you can give that energy, you can give that connection, you can create that experience online, not just offline.
Mhm. Yeah, I have to think. I think when I meet with people one on one, there's something about the energy that they sense, and they tell me all the time, "Oh, you have such beautiful energy. I love your energy,"
Yeah.
and it's healing, and then I have I did online too, where they'll feel crying and they feel released, healed, things like that. But when I'm one on one, it's different. That's how I feel. I don't know.
Can I ask you a question? When I
Yeah.
speak, when I coach, when I articulate my words, and when I express what I want to express, and when I speak, can you feel my energy? Can you feel my passion? Can you
Yeah.
feel like my presence in the way that I show up?
Yeah, I do, of
You
course.
too. You too.
You show up beautifully, but it still would have been different if we were in the same room. You have to
Mhm.
agree. Don't tell me. I know, we are universal beings. We send vibrations, and we we can feel it on a distance. But still, it's something different about the presence in terms of healing. It's a deeper level, right?
So if
So
you feel as though that's what you need to do, then pick it up and run with it.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
don't hesitate. Don't think about it too much. If that's
Mm.
what you want to do, just totally run with it. Now, you mentioned earlier on that you're doing this, and you showed me the card with a list of things that you've got, and you explained yesterday that you can do so much. You're talented and you're mastered in so many different areas, and you've got so much to do. So this means that you've got so many projects ongoing.
Mm.
And when you've got so many ongoing projects, that dilutes your energy within inside each project.
Mhm.
And because you've got all these funnels, all these different niches, all these different marketing messages, then again that depletes the energy that you actually put into anything. And it depletes the focus that you can actually give to any specific thing, which
Mhm.
I imagine that means that you're not allowing yourself to show fully and present in one thing because you're spinning all these wheels. As I
Mhm.
mentioned yesterday, throughout the next 6 months of this year, have one offer. If you want to maximize on sales, build a
Mhm.
business that then takes you into 2027 with a bang, and you're starting off with a profitable business, go all in for the next half of the year, focus on just selling one thing and mastering selling that one thing, which means parking other projects, passion
Mhm.
projects that's potentially not going to bring money in,
Yeah.
right? And focusing on the thing that's going to provide you a profitable business, clients, that's going to put you into a place of thrive.
Mhm. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick one thing because I'm always, but it's not that, uh, I'm dividing myself, right? I kind of time it. There's one thing I do, let's say that the Peace Festival, right? I brought art and I just played my song because it will be hard to also prepare a program for performing at the same time. So if I'm doing art, I'm doing art. If I'm having performance, I'm having a performance. But this event, I already had the stuff ready for the exhibit. I already picked everything. It was already done. And I said, just bring it, and the table, you sell it. I'm just going to walk
Oh
around
yeah.
maybe. But what I want to focus is on performance because they never seen me in that group. They never seen me actually go live perform live, not go live online, but perform live. Yeah. So that's what my focus is, for
Cool.
this.
So again, you've got all these things. Pick
Mm,
pick the thing that you're going to focus on,
yeah.
and just go all in on that. Just
Mm,
totally take it to a whole new level.
yeah.
Here's what I said to one of my clients earlier on
Mm,
is you're dancing on the edge.
mhm.
You're dancing on the edge of success,
Yeah.
right? You put, in fact, let me share this. You always,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, I can't, I've lost it. But you're dancing on the edge, like you're always going to do this, but then there's something else. So you get to the edge, but then there's
Yeah.
something else that distracts you and you step back, and then
Yeah.
you have another breakthrough. And we have a big launch, and then you get to the edge. This is going to be it, but then something else attracts your focus and attention. So you take a step back. You
But
never fully commit and go all in on one thing, and when you do, it totally changes the dynamics of everything.
but the thing is, it's like you can plan things. Let's say I have an event in 6 months. I can prepare the art in 1 month, in 2 weeks. I know how much time it takes me, right, to select everything. Then I can do something else in the next month, and then by the end I'll be ready. I can plan it like that. My dream is actually to put a live show where I'll be also exhibiting art as well. And
I'm just showing up as a mentor and telling you what I see. Yes. So I'm here to call you out, to call you up. If you take that, then you take it. If you don't, then that's fine.
yeah,
I'm just sharing my truth because I've done this for a long time. And there's always something, there's always another focus, there's always I just need to do this. It's dancing with the edge
yeah,
instead of just going all in.
yeah. It just became so easy for me now about art. I have my artists, my roster. I just bring them, and it's a piece of cake for me now. It's not difficult. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I understand your point because when you're performing, it's already you have to get ready for your program. But if I'm going there doing 1 or 2 songs at a business summit, Wealth Summit, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things I wanted to suggest. I can't read that because my vision is not very good. It's very small on my screen and on my iPhone. The gentleman here said one of the ways is to go, as you said, towards events for startups and also business networking events and things. And that's what we are organizing as well, as an opportunity for people to get these kind of, and that's what I'm using for myself as well, to meet new people in business. So yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've come into the end of the session. I've gone a little bit over than expected, so I appreciate you sticking around. Has everybody found as much value as they wanted from today's session?
Yes, yes. I listened to everything. I loved everything. It was all very useful, Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So,
Yeah.
and again, this is what I do with my clients each and every week. I don't put people through training videos, expect them to jump inside Kajabi and watch modules and trainings because they don't get the answers. Information is just information. We pride ourselves on personalized insights that delivers results. So you can take what I've shared with you today. You don't have to think about it. You just need to pick it up and run with it.
Yeah.
Because when you're thinking about it, you're always dancing with the edge. You're never just going all in. Because you're always overthinking. Overthinking is dancing with the edge. Just commit. Make a decision to go all in. So many people sat on the fence, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And when you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you're non-committal. Jim Rohn says, try to turn the light on and off. You can't. You either turn it on or you turn it off. There's no in between. Right? If you try to turn the light switch in the middle, which I know you'll do after this, right, you just get the electrical crackling sound.
The thing is, Andrew, when I was doing one thing, I was doing that thing. Like for during the pandemic, I was just curating the art and social media sharing. I'm a part of over 1,500 groups
Yeah.
in different industries that I was in, and
Fantastic.
and what the lady here, I can't see the name, I'm so sorry. She's mentioned about the spiritual coaching, and when you do advertising, you can target a specific group of people who are, let's say, fans of this person or clients of this person, and they're in the same niche, right? And you can target.
We've talked about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. Thank you. So I'm going to come to a close. I'm wrapping this up. If you want to apply to work with me, you can just scan this QR code. We can have a conversation. If it's a fit, we can move forward. If it's not a fit, no hard feelings. I'm not in high pressure sales, but if there is that glimpse of I'd like to have that conversation, then you can just scan that QR code. It'll take me through to my online calendar. You pick a date and time, fill in an application form, a few questions, and then we can schedule that call. So I appreciate you showing up. I value you showing up. I value where you are in your business. And I hope you found value from this call. Tomorrow is going to be day 4. Day 4. So if you've worked on something today, you've got another question that you'd like to show up tomorrow, a bit more training, then feel free to show up tomorrow. So until then, I'm going to say au revoir. I'll see you later on. And I appreciate you. And each and every one of you, you've got a gift. And there's a marketplace out there. There's a world out there that need what you have. They need what you have. Put your business cap on, put your blinkers on, and go out there to build a business, to get clients, to serve clients, and to build a profitable business. So until we speak, I'm going to love you lots. I'm going to say goodbye.
Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.